Hey guys, welcome back. Same people that we had before, Shadow, Nate, and Megan. We're going to go over a couple matches from All Out. We're just going to focus on 6 of the matches because the card is extremely long with 14. And I'll probably end up doing like a short little video on just the predictions that I think as well. Um, yeah, but this we would be here for 3 hours, which is only half of
Two
what
hours.
the show is actually going to be
Yep.
if we decide to do all 14 matches.
Yeah.
So,
WCW. I mean, AEW doesn't need that much time.
So we picked what we think is going to be the 6 best matches on the card in regards to meaning the most to AEW. Not necessarily the best matches that can happen because some of the other matches can actually be bangers. Um, but the first match we're going to start off with is going to be the American Dragon versus the Lionheart.
Oh,
So I figured we start off with a good one on here. I'm actually excited to see these two because I don't think these two have wrestled since NXT, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
When
wow.
Jericho was the vet and Daniel Bryan, as we know him was back then, was the rookie.
Right. I don't know. I think Jericho has proved time and time again that he can go for his age, and Daniel Daniel can well he can go. So this match will be interesting to see who's actually the ring general once we're in there, because they both like to dictate the pace of the match. They're very similar in style. Um, I don't believe it's not going to be a spot fest, which would be nice. It'll be a straight up wrestling, or as Jericho likes to put it, sports entertainment match. And I think there will be a little bit of distractions from the Jericho Society, but overall, I think it'll be a clean, straight to the point wrestling match. Very technical.
Right. So my thoughts on this match, honestly, the Lionheart Chris Jericho, I definitely prefer him over the Wizard, over Le Champion, whatever you want to call him.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Well, this match has essentially turned into a battle for Daniel Garcia. Basically Daniel Garcia has shown his allegiance is torn right down the middle, which I think is a pretty decent story that they've been telling. It's actually overshadowing Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho a little bit. And I think the end game is to get Daniel Garcia into the Blackpool Combat Club. So I do believe Daniel Garcia turns on Chris Jericho, whether it's during the match or after it. I don't really know. Um, I do think we see Bryan Danielson win this match. If anything else, it's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
But I do think Daniel Garcia joins the Combat Club.
After what
Garcia.
happened on Dynamite, where Garcia grabbed the chair out from Jericho and like teased it, I definitely see it coming through
Hmm.
on Sunday, and Garcia will cost Jericho the match, and then he will join the Combat Club.
Garcia on a pole match. All right.
Essentially,
Essentially.
Um, I think it would be a good match. Isn't this Brian's first match back since he got injured, though? Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, the first big match.
no, that was the one that he lost.
I haven't watched AEW this week, but I've kept up on it. I think Jericho might win it, though.
Ooh. Good sting.
If he wins, I still see Garcia turning now. I feel like Garcia's done with Jericho. Like it's time for him to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think the end game is to get Daniel Garcia into the Combat Club. The fans are already behind him.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that's what a lot of people forget too. Is Jericho isn't building these stables to build himself. He's building them to build the stars around him.
And it's working.
Yeah, 100%. So that's why I believe Jericho's gonna win in that match. But again, with the Garcia turn, because that's what everybody wants, and that's what Jericho wants because Jericho has built him strong.
And the amount of people who are bigger stars because they've worked with Jericho in AEW, we could go on for days. But right now, people benefiting: Sammy Guevara and Tay Mello, Tay Mello. Daniel Garcia is definitely benefiting from it. And he's kind of the anti-Punk in that matter, where the people he works with actually benefit from working with him.
Yes, you said it. I was thinking it.
I haven't even started my rant yet.
That's the thing, and I think that's what a lot of people are actually missing. Is that Jericho's there to basically, he's a legend. Doesn't matter which way you look at it.
He's there to build people up, not tear them down.
In a word, and I don't mean it in the sense how it normally is meant, but he's a jobber. But he's doing it the proper way.
He was that way before he left WWE the last time, too.
Right. But he's jobbing for the right reasons.
Right.
He's not jobbing to...
So, like, there's a difference between jobber and enhancement talent. Like, jobbing means doing the job. It means losing to put someone else over any means possible. Make them look as good as you can. It doesn't mean you're a loser. It doesn't mean you're low on the pecking order. It just means that that's what your job is right then and there.
Yep. I mean, Seth Rollins has done it for the last while, too. Like,
Seth Rollins doesn't need to win.
But I digress. We're not talking about WWE,
right? He doesn't need to win. He's proven that this year. His record, I think, this year overall is like 9-30 or something like that. It's crazy.
It's like one of the best years of his career.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm going Jericho.
Yeah, I think Bryan Danielson's gonna win, and then we're gonna see Garcia join him. So let's move on to the tag match, which has Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed. I don't know. I'm torn on this match because I feel that the team that should be here is not here. You have a team that's number one in the rankings for the last 2 months, and they're stuck in a trios match with the TNT Championship. So that belt's not being defended on the show.
Yeah.
And that's... But I think the belt stays with Swerve and Lee, even though I feel like it should be on the team that deserves it, and they're not in this match.
I agree with that 100%. I think FTR is doing the best work of any tag team on the planet right now. And I don't think it's... I mean, the only close exception I would say would be the Usos. Like, the Usos are, on that roll too. But FTR should be in this match, but they're relegated to some pointless trios match. Wardlow should be defending his title, not defending his title. And as much as I love the Acclaimed, I think the Acclaimed are a lot of fun. They don't need a tag title to be relevant. They don't need titles around their waist to be as popular as they are and continue that popularity. So I think this is just kind of a placeholder for now. I think FTR eventually comes in and takes the titles from Swerve and Our Glory.
Do they take it while having the other 3 titles, or are they going to lose something first?
I don't think they lose any of them right now.
Good. They don't deserve to.
They should have 4, but they should literally have belt around the chest, belt on each shoulder. It should be that ridiculous looking.
And then they should come to WWE, take theirs, and put it on their head.
For me,
belts linked around each other.
Yep.
I'm still not a big fan of Keith Lee's right now. I'm gonna go with the Acclaimed in this match, and they're gonna scissor that match to death before they win, which is gonna be amazing.
So stupid.
I think it's funny.
I think it's dumb.
But I'm going with the Acclaimed. They're. I mean, you guys don't agree. That's fine. But they're the hottest thing right now, other than FTR.
They almost make me as sick as Sammy and Tay.
You don't like the Acclaimed, really?
No.
Interesting.
I can't stand, the rapping, it's horrible. They think they're cool, and it's, just dumb. They make, these stupid things that they get in trouble for, and then they're allowed to come back and do the same shit the next week.
Well, I think it's kind of a thing where they know how bad it is. It's like, it's kind of like the Young Bucks using the super kick almost satirically. I think it's just something like that where people react to it, so they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Megan, what are your thoughts, Megan?
I agree with Jeff. I think they're claimed are going to win it. They're too over with the crowd.
Yeah.
Everyone loves them.
Lovely. Let's have the number 2 team beat the top team and skip right over the
Yeah,
number 1 ranked team.
But if you think about it, would you rather Swerve in Our Glory lose to FTR, or would you rather have FTR absolutely squash the Acclaimed?
I'd rather have AEW follow the ranking system that they want us to believe they do.
Yeah, but AEW is known for squash matches now and important belts, right? So
I don't even think Chris Statlander's injury is real because she's off squatting on Instagram every day.
Yeah, what did
yeah,
she
we know
say?
you like
What did
watching
she
her
say?
squat.
Well, I mean,
I'll put her shirt on.
There's nothing wrong with that. But what, like, it's like you want us to believe in the rankings, and then you pull that, and then you even pull it with Punk, how he lost the title match, and then he went to number 1, and now he's getting a rematch. I thought they don't do rematches for titles.
Don't get me started yet.
And I thought he was supposed to. And then when you're the title holder and you lose, you go to number 5 instantly. Like, that's part of the rules for the ranking system.
Oh, but Moxley had an open contract. Okay.
Yeah, that's how they got away with it. Right. And how come nobody else ran out before that fat ass guy walking out? You tell me no other wrestler could beat him there? Come on. There's so much better they could have done with this. You could have had the lights gone out, MJF just standing in the ring when the lights turn back on, and boom, that's how you get MJF his title shot. And then he takes the belt and walks out.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Let's move on to the next match.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, you're good. I'm just muting myself in my head like this.
I'm all here for the rants, but let's appropriate it.
All right, so let's move on to Jungle Boy versus Cage, Christian Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Story-wise, this is amazing, and that's not really. This one I'm actually invested in.
This is probably the only
everything
one I'd be
AEW right now.
It is.
The storyline with Christian and Jungle Boy is just amazing. The shots back and forth, their long-term storytelling, which apparently is allowed in AEW. It's just great. It's just overall, I'm intrigued in seeing where this goes.
It is far and away the best story being told in AEW right now, and I don't think that's even like remotely close. If I believe that Christian Cage is going to take this first victory, because this feud is not anywhere near from being over. I do think Christian Cage is going to take the first victory. I think Luchasaurus is actually going to full-on turn on Jungle Boy. And I think out of that, we have a mini feud between Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and build up to another match versus Christian at another pay-per-view down the road. And I think Jungle Boy takes that victory in the long run. But right now, I think Christian gets a cheap victory over Jungle Boy. As much as I'm a huge Jungle Boy fan, too.
Touching on your point there, so they're going to treat Luchasaurus with the Big Show treatment? The back and forth?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Big Show works for him, so he had to pass it along to somebody.
Yep. And Luchasaurus is getting up there. He's pushing 40.
Right, and he's a great worker, though, still. He really is.
Oh, he is. He's awesome. I love Luchasaurus.
Me too.
We were in Detroit the first time he came out to that new music with all the black gear, and we're like, oh.
Yeah, that was sick. And then they ruined it by having him go back the other way in 2 weeks.
But
with the green mask, with the same music, like, just, they need to make up their minds. Make it make sense.
Megan?
I think Christian Cage is going to win it.
You have a reason for it, or you just like Christian over Jungle Boy in this one?
I like Christian, so.
That's fair.
I think Jungle Boy, because he said, and in his promos, he said he's bringing out the Jack Perry. This is not going to be Jungle Boy. I think he actually might take this one and then lose after that.
Call me stupid, but I really didn't realize that was Luke Perry's kid up until like a month ago.
Oh, you mean when Christian said, your dead father?
Yeah, that's about the time I found out, yeah.
Yeah, a ton of people didn't know that either.
Yeah.
But that's credit to Jungle Boy for keeping that out of wrestling.
Right, he didn't want to be seen as Luke Perry's son. He wanted to be seen as Jungle Boy.
As his own person, yep.
Yeah. And he's done a great job of that. Jungle Boy's a phenomenal ring worker.
He is. I used to think, based off his size, that he wouldn't be good. Like, he didn't seem to fit in with AEW.
He's literally the same size as me.
And then just the way he works, it made me believe in him. So, all the credit to him.
Yeah, he's literally 5'10", 165 pounds. We're the same size.
Insane.
Speaking of Christian, I have a signed picture, an 8x10 of Christian. It says to my number one Pete, just one more match, and he's holding the belt.
And now he's wrestling every week.
Yeah, well, I mean, Edge is still around too, so let's be real.
Let's go into the women's 4-way for the interim women's championship. Like, we need another interim title in AEW.
I'm going in. And Britt Baker's in this match, correct?
So you have Britt Baker, you have Jamie Hayter, you have Toni Storm, and you have Hikaru Shida.
Let me just say this. The winner, and is all I'm saying, DMD.
Thank you for the sub, Man Jam. Appreciate it.
Gals' favorite wrestler, Britt Baker.
A.K.A. AEW's version of Charlotte Flair. Like I commented on her Twitter when she posted yesterday, round 2, I said, why? So you could keep bringing the division down?
Did she block it?
I don't know. I have to go back and check. It wouldn't surprise me because nobody in AEW can take criticism.
That's very true.
We need somebody to elevate the division, and that's not going to happen no matter who is the champion, especially if you believe that the division will even get a chance after what Tony Khan said today in a media call about how
I'm gonna go last on this because I'm gonna go off just a
how
little.
Thunder Rosa didn't deserve the same amount of time as CM Punk when he gave up the belt because she doesn't have drawing power. That's because you didn't make her have drawing power. The division is how you make it. So, to me, it doesn't matter who's going to win because they're not going to be on TV anyway because that's how AEW is with the women's division. You're going to see them on Dark, Elevation, and sometimes Rampage. So
before Megan and Nate go up,
I'm gonna pick. Obviously, it's gonna be Baker because they don't know how to make anybody else a women's champion. But the right person to win this should be Jamie Hayter. That's who should win this belt. It shouldn't be Toni Storm. She's not ready. She proved that by walking out on WWE, claiming her mental health, and then 2 weeks later she signed with AEW. It should be Jamie Hayter. That's who deserves it, and it's time for her to turn on Britt. There's your built-in storyline right now.
Maybe Storm's mental health had something to do with Vince Hush money. We don't know. Man Jam is correct, though, with the 14 matches per pay-per-view is way too many.
Right.
And they want to add more. Watch out tomorrow night. They're talking about adding more matches.
But Megan, your thoughts on this match?
I honestly cannot give a crap about the women's match because, in words of Becky Lynch, their women's division sucks and ours is better. So I honestly could not give a crap. But we all know that DMD is going to win because Tony Khan has a little thing for her, and anything she asks, it's a yes, you got it.
Ooh.
So I have to ask Megan.
That's very true.
Very true. Megan, I have to ask, being a female on this panel currently, how does this make you feel as a wrestling woman?
As a female wrestling fan.
Yeah. How does that feel the way Tony Khan is treating the division?
It sucks because it's like he does not have any faith in the women's division, how he's only having faith in the men. And it kind of is like watching AEW is women's division is just like how the women's division was in WWE way back when, where they were doing the bikini model crap and the pillow fighting and this and that. He's using them as objects and not as superstars to go out there and show their potential. I don't understand why the women who were released from WWE go to AEW thinking, oh, we're going to get more opportunities. Where are they at right now? They're not getting any TV time, nothing. If they were to go back to WWE right now with Triple H, they would be getting so much more TV time, so much more opportunities. They fucked them into a major black hole right now.
All right. I just wanted a
What-
female perspective on it. So
What about
thank
the
you.
What about the rumor that they might have an all women's TV show?
What's
It
But that
They'll
contradicts
get
what Khan
TV
said
time.
today.
They'll get TV time. That's his
But doesn't
response.
that con-
for one,
but doesn't this
no one's
contradict
gonna
Khan's?
watch it because I'm going last. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but doesn't this contradict what Khan said today with the women?
Yes,
Like-
it
It
absolutely
does.
does. That's all he is. He's a big contradiction. Like everything he says, it contradicts something else that he said the previous week. He's always on both sides of the coin. He's always speaking out of both sides of his mouth, and people don't want to hold him to it. And that's part of the issue with it. Well, that's part.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present Nate.
Okay, so I'm just gonna throw this out there. Booking a segment for Thunder Rosa to acknowledge the fact that she has an injury and that she is going to not be able to perform her duties as the women's champion for the foreseeable future. Making that a 45-second backstage throwaway segment is a big, gigantic slap in the face to any woman who has ever laced up a pair of wrestling boots. Ever. It is disrespectful. It tells me as a fan that you don't give a shit about your women's division or your women's champion, no matter how much money she brings you. She's one of their top merch sellers. Check it out. Tony Khan just does not give a shit about his women's division whatsoever. The TNT title or the TBS title is never on TBS, for one. It's on TNT once a month, maybe. Thunder Rosa, who is one of the most perpetually over superstars in your entire company, is barely on TV. And when she is, she's teaming up with Tony Storm for some reason, rather than getting into a feud with a nasty heel like Jamie Hayter. You know? So here's the thing with that match, too. Hikaru Shida is great. We all like Hikaru Shida. She's a great worker. She's not the person to be carrying the company as an interim champion right now. Tony Storm. Maybe Tony Storm was set to beat Thunder Rosa to begin with. I'm not sure.
That's what
But
the
she
rumors
doesn't
were.
need to be, she doesn't need to be an interim champion either. If she's going to be a champion, she needs to be a full-on undisputed champion. Now, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, I believe would not be a terrible choice to win that match. She is a proven draw as a women's wrestler in AEW. She sells merch. She's good on the mic. She's good in the ring. She's a great character. However, I believe right now, if Tony Khan has any brains left in his Mark head, turn Jamie Hayter on Britt Baker. Britt Baker's about to have the match won. Jamie Hayter throws her ass out of the ring, pins whoever's on the mat, wins the match. Turn Britt Baker babyface because she's already popular as hell. Jamie Hayter gets excellent heat as a heel. She's the perfect one for it. And I think you're an idiot if you book it any other way.
And then you can have that feud go on until Thunder Rosa gets back.
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem with putting giving Britt the title is no one would expect Rosa to beat her again,
No, absolutely not.
and it would make the match meaningless.
Yes,
Should have just had her surrender the title
absolutely.
at that point.
And I mean, the seeds have been planted ever since Jamie Hayter aligned with.
Oh, you
Britt
mean
Baker.
for the reason that Britt Baker was the one that put her out on injury?
Yeah,
Like, it was built in the entire time, and they went right to her teaming up with her.
yep.
And now she's been teaming with her for over a year. Like, come on. Oh, it's long-term storytelling. No, it's lazy booking, and you guys don't know how to book an AEW. You have Tony Khan writing all this stupid shit. Get writers. Get somebody that knows what they're doing.
Do not know how to book babyface champions.
I honestly would prefer Vince Russo or Eric Bischoff in AEW than Tony Khan writing the show. And that's saying a lot. Because both of them ruined WCW.
And Hulk Hogan.
Well, Hogan ruins wherever he goes. That's why TNA is where TNA is.
Not on a channel that no one's ever heard of.
Oh, aren't on the internet now only?
No, Impact's on Axis. Impact is on Axis.
I'll say this. Impact knows how to book their fucking women's division.
They do. It's the second best women's division out of the three.
It was the best until Bailey and Io and Dakota came back.
It was the best till Triple H took over.
Yeah.
Because the booking is what was ruining the women's division, we still had the best wrestlers.
WWE's women's division is the most stacked, but Impact's was the best booked until now.
It's sad, Harlem. It's sad when you have a better match for the ROH title with Serena versus Mercedes than anyone you have for the AEW's women's title. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, you're right, Ford.
Just because, I mean, Serena is Serena, and she should have had the title regardless, because that would keep your division and help your division immensely. Because
Serena Deeb can anchor the division.
And it's so funny because didn't they just bring in Madison Rayne as a coach? And what did she do? Her first night there, booked herself into a match for the title
And lost.
and lost.
But all right, what's the next match on the card here?
Yes, let's move on before I get very upset.
So we'll go into the casino ladder match. So this one you have Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Ray Phoenix, Penta El Zero.
Oh, hold on. Ray who?
Phoenix.
Phoenix?
Oh my god.
It's spelled Phoenix.
No,
F-E-N-I-X.
it's-
Phoenix.
That is not how you spell. Continue.
I don't care. That's
It's
how I pronounce
Phoenix.
it. Okay, whatever. Phoenix.
Phoenix.
FedEx? You want FedEx?
The Lucha Brothers.
There you go. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Andrade
Just-
El Idolo, Roosh, if you want me to pronounce it correctly, and then Dante, and then you have the Joker.
So before we actually get into the match itself, who does everybody believe the Joker's going to be?
I don't know now.
I have. If
I
it
don't
is,
know.
who I think it is, I'm gonna be pissed.
Which is who?
MJF?
Yep. Mainly because in that whole pipe bomb thing that he did was crap. But if he doesn't, then we really do know that he's like done.
Well, if you are a gambler, the betting odds right now for MJF to come back is minus 150. Which means,
That's so close to being zero too.
yeah, but it's in the wrong direction of being that you
Plausible.
want, because that's like a favorite. Like you have to bet $150 to get $100 back.
Is he the top betting odd?
Yes.
Oh, hate that.
I am going to say, just because he recently resurfaced, William Morrison.
I was thinking that too, but I think he's already signed. I think
Right,
they
but
actually
they
might have
don't
signed
need to-
him.
But that would still be a good match for him to make his in-ring debut.
They don't. No. I don't know.
I
Every
think
time
maybe-
they do that with somebody new, that person loses.
Keith Lee.
Matt Sydal,
Mm-hmm.
Leo Rush.
I think a possibility could be Kushida. For the Joker, but if the even money is, or if the best betting odds is MJF, then unfortunately that might be what we get. The thing is with that whole thing, yes, that promo was incredible. It was good. It was awesome. It blurred the lines of reality and kayfabe, and that's what we want. But they have waited way too long to capitalize on it. Like way too long.
Over
And
90 days.
Right. I genuinely don't give a shit anymore. If it's MJF, I'm not gonna mark out. I don't care.
Right.
Oh, that
Ooh.
is a good point, Harlem.
Ford's
What-
got a good point there with Adam Cole.
If he's not injured anymore, sure, because apparently Bobby Fish is out of the company.
Yeah, his contract ended last night at midnight.
If that's the case,
He's going
give
back
it to
to.
Cole and have him win.
He's going back to. He'll go back to WWE.
Yeah, but
and
being
him and
here-
Roddy.
Him and Roddy. Yeah. I could see that.
I don't think we've seen the last of Fish in AEW.
They chose not to re-sign him, so I think so. It was one of those contracts that they built in the team option, so to speak.
See, the one I think I have a problem with that is Adam Cole is a big draw for you. And if you don't have his stable that he has handpicked,
Is he?
yeah, I would say Adam Cole is a big draw.
Has he been for AEW? What has he
I would
done?
say so.
What has he done since he's been there?
Well, what can you do? Nobody gets TV time.
Well, that's the problem with signing everybody the next shiny new toy.
But my point to this is, if they do not picking up an option on Riley, even if it's or excuse me, Fish, even if it's just for 6 months, so they can do the feud with the Young Bucks, I could see Adam Cole asking for his release and Britt within the next 8 months.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was people that have asked for a release, and none of them were granted. So
JF.
Malachi.
Malachi, Miro.
We're starting to see the downfall of AEW.
Yeah.
Slowly, the dominoes are falling.
It all started with Cody Rhodes leaving.
They did.
He saw what was coming, and he got out before it happened.
But
And the
as
fact-
for, go ahead, Megan.
The fact that he was the one who helped create AEW, and then he was the first one to leave, says a lot.
Yep.
Well, it's good to know that other companies can start, aka AEW, and talent realize that the mecca is still WWE.
It
That
always
is the end all be all. Like, there's no way around it. Production wise, creative might have been shit for the last 10 years. That's fine. But it's still been the mecca of the wrestling world.
Yep.
Because even though us diehard fans might not have been into it, some casual fans were, which was still pushing merch, which was still pushing TV deals, which was still pushing everything.
I mean, I still
A
watch
little
it.
fun fact: WrestleMania brings more money into the economy for the city that it visits than the Super Bowl does.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Well,
But as
I would say now
Go ahead.
it definitely does, especially with them being 2 nights.
Well, even then, that was something I read from WrestleMania 29. That's been a fact for almost 10 years, and it's done so every year since.
Well, that's because most of the people that go to like WrestleMania are regular people. It's not the corporate sponsors and everything else that have the tickets for the Super Bowl, and then they're
It's
going and
wrestling.
they're not spending money at the places around it. Wrestling fans are spending money everywhere.
Hotels, restaurants, merch stands, WrestleMania access, the meet and greets, the indie shows that are around town during the week. Like, WrestleMania is the end all be all of professional wrestling, and it always will be.
No, it didn't matter that it was 2 nights, but I'm saying the second night has helped because that brings extra revenue into the stadium.
You literally just doubled your revenue for ticket sales instantly.
I mean, LA is a perfect example. They sold 50,000 tickets during the pre-sale. Like, that's insane. That
what was
insane.
it? Nate, you brought this up, or maybe it was Megan. How fast did Survivor Series go?
Less than 10 minutes. It was like 8 minutes.
Okay, we veered off course here. The ladder match. The ladder match. I believe that the Joker's gonna win.
It's gonna be MJF so they can set up his stupid feud with CM fucking Punk.
If MJF is in it, he's winning it.
Yes.
Yeah.
If
If
he's,
it's
Cut it out.
someone-
if he's not in it and MJF just comes back and interrupts the next match, I think we could see, which I think is a dumb move, Claudio in it.
I'm not understanding why you have Claudio in this match in the begin with.
The person who needs it the most is Andrade.
Well, yeah, there's two different. I mean, there's too many tag team partners in this match. That's weird. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's
Like-
definitely a weird element to it. It's like a TLC match.
Like, poor Dante Martin's
So-
out on his own.
Who is Dante's tag team partner?
Beats me. Haven't done it in 6 months.
Could that be the person who returns?
Who's Dante's tag partner?
I don't know. Isn't he part of? Isn't that top? Isn't that Top Flight? Is that
I
Top
don't
Flight? I don't know.
Dante had his first match on Dynamite in like 6 months last night.
See, that's exhausting too. We're trying to fit Dante into this match, and we can't because we can't place him on the freaking roster.
Right, like
Yeah.
we got Wheeler, Yuta, and Claudio in the Blackpool Combat Club who are both in this match.
Mhm.
Andrade and Bruce are tag team partners. Penta and Ray are tag team partners.
Brothers.
And then we got Dante and the Joker. So,
Like, why not just call it a tag team champion? Like, you
Well,
know,
because they
like,
want the individual person to get the title shot.
I understand that, but if you're gonna go with so many teams, you might as well just say it's for the fucking tag team championships at this point.
Right.
so it's probably like at this point with all of those tag partners that are in there, I feel like it's going to be the Joker because God knows Dante Martin's not winning.
Like
Yeah.
Ford just said, Dante's tag partner is his brother. Just can't remember his name.
Yeah, none of us can remember. That shows how long it's been.
It's embarrassing. Next match, or no, excuse me, Nate, who you? I think we all said MJF.
MJF, whoever the Joker is going to win.
Yeah.
If it's not MJF, I feel like Claudio will win it.
I think that's fair.
Because AEW is stupid instead of giving
But
it
he's
to
the Ring of
Andrade.
Honor World Champion right now.
That's why.
All right, next match.
Everyone needs 8 championships.
Yep.
Championships mean nothing in AEW anymore.
They do not. Perfect example of that is a match that we are not covering, the Jade Cargill match. That honestly, I mean, that championship does mean more than the women's championship because it's actually treated with respect. Except for the fact that we have the female Goldberg
who can't wrestle.
And
Chris Statlander should beat her for it when she comes back from injury.
Athena should beat her Sunday for it.
She's not going
But she's not going to.
Because she's too close to 40 wins.
It was either, I believe it was Man Jam, it might have been Ford, or it was Steve. One of these three men brought up the point that this is why you keep Britt Baker away from her. Because she's still protected. She can hold on her belt. You bring Baker in, she's not holding that belt no more.
Britt Baker would embarrass her in a professional wrestling match.
Yeah.
And I know I'm a Chris Statlander mark. I know I am. But the reason I'm a Chris Statlander mark is because she's really fucking good. She's good. And she's over with the crowd. The crowd fucking loves Chris Statlander.
I feel like when she switched gimmicks from the alien, like it just changed like everything. Like it just sent her, it like almost like reset her in regards to what everybody thought about her.
Well,
Thank you, Ford.
So again, we come back to Tony Khan booking the women's division like dog shit for the last 3 years, and he wonders why none of his women's wrestlers can draw money. They're booked like dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
Unless their name is Britt Baker.
The dog shit, is that the one I was used in a Roman Reigns match?
That's dog food.
But
it looked like dog shit.
Realistically, and I'm not shitting on professional female wrestlers, but when you look at the AEW roster, I can see why you put Baker at the top, technical wise. But like, you deserve to kind of have some other women showcase what they can do.
The problem, Shadow, is the fact that while yes, she should be your top star, which is what they did, she needs to make everybody else around her better, and she didn't do that. All she did was make them all look like shit, and that is what kept the division down.
No, I understand that. I get that.
I'll say this: Thunder Rosa made a lot of people look really good in the ring.
Yeah, until people thought that she was being too stiff.
But the problem with Thunder Rosa, and Scals has said this before, if the match isn't going in her favor and she knows it, her entrances, it reads all over her face.
It's written on her face. Like that pay-per-view when she was losing, before she won, the week before she won or whatever it was, it was like you knew she was losing the way she walked out. It was like, why even have the match? And then the next time she came out with the mariachi band and everything else, she was all smiling. You knew she was winning. Like,
wasn't the mariachi band on TV though? Like that was not pay-per-view. That was just TV.
Yeah, but that's where she won it. She lost at the pay-per-view, and then a week later, at one of the 1,000 AEW weekly special main type of shows.
This leads into my next point, and Nate is an avid speaker of this. Stop booking it like this. It's pay-per-view quality for TV.
I have a story for you. Once upon a time, there was a wrestling company that aired on TNT and TBS that booked pay-per-view quality main event matches on weekly free television, and they fucking folded and went out of business because of it. Continue.
WCW.
We haven't heard Megan talk in a minute. Megan, come on, give us some
Get
thoughts.
rid of-
We need Megan to talk. She hasn't talked in a minute.
Y'all basically said like what I've been thinking about this whole AEW crap.
And this is not me saying, I don't want to. I'm a supporter of AEW. I want AEW to succeed. It's nice having a true alternative to WWE that I can access on TV every week. But they don't know what they're fucking doing.
But that's the thing too. AEW when it started
Was an alternative.
it was an alternative.
Now
then
it's not.
Khan started booking like Vince McMahon.
I would say he's booking worse than Vince McMahon
No.
because Vince McMahon. Yeah.
No.
Khan what? Go ahead.
TK became the marks of all mark. And he just started booking for what he wants to see. And then he
Right.
based it off of what everybody was saying they wanted on Twitter. And then what these people are saying they wanted over here. So he's trying to please everybody. And you can't do that. You got to please your wrestlers first.
Yeah.
And then when you make them happy, they make everybody who's watching happy.
Mhm.
Because otherwise, you have what's going on now, and you have all the unrest in the locker room.
Yep.
I have said this about Tony Khan, and I've said it in our group chat. Tony Khan collects professional wrestlers like me and Megan collect action figures of the wrestlers.
They're like trophies to him.
Yeah.
It's basically him saying, "Hey, haha, I've got this one and you don't. Now, what the fuck are you gonna do with it?"
Well, that was the whole thing with him showing off his shiny new toys for ratings pops every week when he signs
What have
somebody.
you done? What have you done with Ruby Soho since she came over? What have you done with Adam Cole since he came over? What have you done with Kyle O'Reilly? Even like
The biggest thing Adam Cole has done since coming over is won the
Well,
Owen Hart tournament.
and
Yep.
don't get me started on that either.
Oh, the fact that it's a gimmick and it hasn't been
No,
mentioned since?
No,
The
the
most
fact that the
shameless
two
act-
who won it. I can't.
Let's
Oh.
just say the two who run it, Tony Khan has a thing for both of them, and I think Steve said this before in a live that they like to get together a lot. If you know what I mean.
So they're Matt Riddling over in AEW?
Yes.
That Owen Hart tournament was a slap in the face to the Owen Hart Foundation, despite the fact that his wife was behind it. I don't care that she was behind it. That was insulting to Owen Hart.
Do you think maybe it was child of her name is Marsha, right?
Her name is.
Martha, excuse me. Do you think that maybe that was her way of getting back at Vince McMahon?
Yeah. How well
I
that
think it
worked out.
was, but it didn't work.
How well
But do
did
you know
that
what I
work
mean?
out?
Like what maybe in her thought process it was her way of saying, "Hey Vince, we're going to allow them to do it but not you."
And do you think it's a coincidence that right after that happened, Bret Hart signs a Legends contract with WWE? That was not a coincidence.
And Kevin Owens said Owen Hart's main phrase on TV.
Not a coincidence.
But anyways. All right. Next
Back to
match.
the AEW slander. Let's go.
So the last match we're going to discuss is the one for the AEW World Championship.
Megan, start this one off.
I'm going last.
Oh. I thought that the reason John Moxley squashed CM Punk was because CM Punk was not cleared to wrestle. Apparently, that's not the freaking case because they're having another goddamn match that I could care less. We all know Moxley's gonna win it. CM Punk needs to leave AEW and wrestling for good because when I watch him, I go to sleep.
Just like his move does.
Pretty much.
Go ahead.
I
So you have Moxley winning. Okay.
Yep.
Scales, go ahead.
No, you can go on this one, Shadow.
Okay, well, this is all. We're all about to have 10 minutes here. So I and Scallops can attest to this. You two don't know much about this, but I'm a big fan. Well, I was a big fan of CM Punk. I marked out when he came back. I was happy that he was back. I believed everything he said like an idiot. I truly believed that he was gonna be there to be what Chris Jericho is.
He got you with the
And
ice cream bars.
oh fuck, don't even get me started on those ice cream bars, bro. I still want one. All right, that's beside the point. But I just don't understand why you're gonna go out there last week and have Punk and Mox, which we all knew Punk is back way before he should be, and sit here and go off and on about I'm the intern, I'm the heavyweight champion, and Moxley's the intern, blah blah blah. I'm the real champion, and then you go out and your match is shorter than your UFC career, and then you turn around a week later, cry, give some sob story to Chicago because you're gonna come. It's all coming down now. You're actually gonna retire. Well, no, I think it was it was Hangman who said you only came back because you're broke, or maybe that was Moxley. One of the two of them said it. And Hangman said, this was Hangman. Nobody in the back likes him. He's not here to be the guy that everybody wants him to be. Nobody wants him here, blah, 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 blah. So to me, having a squash match last week makes absolutely no fucking sense when it comes to the pay-per-view now. Because why not just do this week, have the squash match, and then just have it again in 5 days or 3 days? Like last week was so dumb. Why have the break with Punk coming out cutting the shittiest promo about how he's contemplating retirement, and then some fat guy comes down and crying and telling him he needs to get up and get back in the picture, blah blah blah, sign the contract.
It's a Rocky moment.
Like it was just garbage TV in my opinion. Like it makes no sense. And Khan has booked himself into such a corner now with the title picture because you know that once this trios tournament's done, Omega wants back in there, and other guys are going to be chomping at the bit. But what are you going to do? Keep going back and forth between Mox, who is a hard-ass fucking worker and has proven that he can go anywhere in the world at this point now and be who he wants to be and be a world champion. Okay, slap him on the 2 belts. It's almost as if Khan looked at Reigns and said, oh, Moxley could hold 2 titles too. And that's what happened. And I'm going to say, because Khan is a big mark for this, Punk is winning on Sunday. Because of the hometown fucking bullshit.
So, yeah, I'm going last. That's right. Sorry, Scales.
So when he came back, first off, the whole interim title bullshit needs to go away. Stop with the interim title. Like, I know it's the way that, oh, he gets a title shot as soon as he comes back because it's an interim champion. Just say that then. Get the person who wins the interim to matter. Because right now, if you're holding an interim belt, it doesn't count as a title reign. It didn't count anything until Moxley beat him. So they had him beat him because he's going to lose at the pay-per-view, and now they're both 2-time champions. The whole way they set this shit up was ridiculous. How do you have Punk come back, whether he's ready or not, and lose that way? How do you have Moxley squash him? Moxley deserves the title. He deserves to hold the title. He deserves to lead it because everything he's done has been fire. But to have him do that to Punk, who you're trying to help build up, and say he's there to help build other people up, what has he done since he's been there? Oh, that's right. Beat everybody he's been and put everybody down. Because Punk is about himself. He doesn't care about anybody else but him. And then this promo with Ace Steel or whatever the hell his name is. Who the hell knew who he was before last night?
Tony Khan knew who he was, so we were supposed to know who he was.
We're supposed to know everybody who comes on the TV and who's going to make such a big impact the day he's introduced. What the fuck?
Yep.
You have Moxley leave a contract in an envelope in the middle of a ring, and the first person to come down is some fat guy wearing an earpiece, as opposed to a real wrestler who wants it.
And
You
he just
should've-
grabs it in his back pocket and walks out.
You should have had 10 wrestlers run into that ring fighting over the chance to pick that up and sign it. And you have this to finagle your way to get the rematch because there are no rematches in AEW for titles. And this is how you did it. It's time to get somebody who writes for a living to book AEW. Otherwise, it's not going to get bigger than it is, and it's going to keep going down. You're up, Nate.
It's
Right.
a Tony Khan press conference inbound.
Let's. We're gonna start this off real nice. So, I, Shadow, like you, I was a big CM Punk fan when he was in WWE. Always loved his work. Comes back, it's this big emotional moment. And a moment that he rightfully, deserved at the time, I'm sure. Great moment, emotional. I marked out, absolutely. And I, like you, bought every single word he said. He's here to help the next generation of workers. He's here to fight a bunch of new guys. So tell me why
Ain't nothing.
tell me why that not a single person that he is feuded with is better off than they were before he feuded with them. Darby Allin is not better off than he was before he feuded with Punk. MJF certainly isn't. He's not even on TV. And I'm trying to think, the other people he's feuded with. I can't really remember.
Because
But
none of them were memorable.
no, yeah. nobody-
Hangman for a short page there. Page turn, if you
Hangman
will.
Page, yeah. Hangman Page is arguably the worst spot he's ever been in since joining that company right now. Like, why is he fumbling at the bottom of the card with Dark Order?
Not that Dark Order is a shit faction, but like that's
What?
not a Hangman level.
What?
They have, and I hate to say this, but
Did you
they have
just
been
say Dark Order is not a shit faction?
I
they've
did.
been a faction since Brody Lee passed.
Dude,
Rest in peace. I
That
love Brody Lee.
that was a bad take, Shadow.
Yeah, well,
Oh god damn.
I love Evil Uno. All right, shut up.
So,
Well, no,
So
that's fine.
anyway,
You could love
I-
Evil Uno. You could love John Silver. But as a group,
John Silver.
they
They suck.
as a group,
All right.
they're done. Okay.
All right, mate, sorry.
Sorry. 3MB. But anyways, so Punk comes back, proves us all wrong, got us all biting at the bit to see him fight with all these, put over a bunch of new young talent. Not even close to what he did. Puts himself in the title scene because Tony Khan wants him in the title scene, obviously. Wins a bullcrap, terrible match against Hangman Page. That match was god awful from start to finish.
It was super slow.
Tries the stupid buckshot lariat twice. First of all, Punk, you're 45. Hangman Page is what, 26, 27? You can't
He's a
flip
young buck.
like that. You couldn't even do that in your 20s. Like, what are you doing? And
He's 31.
Hey, he's still a young buck.
so he's still
Page
a
is-
young guy.
Yeah, I didn't think he was that young, so I had to look it up. I'm sorry.
Right. So by pro wrestling standards, he's a very young guy still.
Correct. Yep.
And so Punk wins that match. Ugh, and I knew it was going to happen, and I didn't want it to happen, but anyways, Punk wins the match. He gets injured. I get that, accidents happen. So what they should have done was completely vacated the title. Not have him sit on the sidelines for, 2 months while his foot healed, and have Moxley basically be a paper champion that was just there, again, carrying the company on his back like he has done since he got there. That promo he said was real. That is what Mox has done since he's got there. He is their top draw in that company. And The only booking that I want to see for this match, had the squash match happened at All Out, or had the squash match just been the end of that, that would have been fine with me. But no, they just had to drag it out. Here comes Punk out here to pander to the Chicago crowd, say Chicago about 47 times in his promo. Stupid. We already covered the open contract thing, but like goes out into the crowd, has this like Rocky like moment where he's just pumping up the crowd. He's like, "I'm not dead yet." Like, what kind of adversity did you face? Your foot wasn't even injured when you wrestled last week. There's no way it was, because you wouldn't be healthy now, especially after the way it looked. So like, I'm insulted as a fan watching that. I think Tony Khan thinks I'm stupid when I'm watching that. Like, but it's CM Punk. I don't give a shit that it's CM Punk anymore. I want good booking. And so here comes CM Punk. The only thing in this match that makes sense to me is if Moxley wins and Punk turns heel. That is the only good booking that can come out of this match. That can sell.
That's what got him into the trouble in the first place, though. He turned his heel.
So, whether or not MJF shows up on Sunday, I don't give a shit. Moxley needs to win. Punk needs to turn heel. That is the only thing that can salvage this bullshit storyline, and I don't think that's what's going to happen. I do think they're going to give the win to Punk.
Yeah, it's the hometown bullshit.
They love to pander to the hometown crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Punk messed up the promo at the end because he started saying "I am Chicago" when he went, and he goes "I we."
And see, that's kind of where the thing where Vince McMahon was really good with. He would dangle the carrot of the hometown hero in front of you, and more often than not, they'd get their ass kicked.
Yeah. But every once in a while, you need to do it, but
Genius.
you can't do it all the time. You can't pander to the hometown crowds all the time, and that's what AEW does every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And just a shout out to Ford in the chat was saying we all would have marked out if Okada would have come out.
Fuck yeah, I would have.
And got that contract.
Hell yeah, I would have. Moxley Okada signed my ass up.
The person who should have done it that was there is Ospreay.
Ospreay versus Mox would be awesome also.
I think I would have even popped to have Matt Cardona come out and just grab that contract.
Oh, Matt Cardona. Dude, I love Matt Cardona.
Like, obviously he probably wouldn't win, and that's fine. But that would have been a huge what the fuck moment is he doing here?
Yeah.
Right. Quick little short feud with him and Moxley. Perfect for what Cardona's doing right now.
Is Cardona even
He's not contracted to anybody.
No. But isn't he injured?
No, I don't know.
I thought he was injured.
He tweeted
that's why he had to
something along the line.
That's why he had to give up the one belt he had.
He might have been injured, but I don't think he is anymore. He tweeted out
for the 40th time too.
He tweeted out recently. He's like,
her wrist broke again.
Anyways, Cardona tweeted out something along the lines of "fuck free agents. I am the agent."
I love that.
I did see that.
Cardona has been owning the indies since he left WWE.
It was the best thing that ever happened to him.
He is literally the smaller version of Drew McIntyre at this point. And he's on the indie scene. But I think way you have Punk lose in hometown is MJF comes out and ruins that match.
Right. But another, I do want Punk to turn heel though. That's what I want to see happen.
Well, you would think with MJF coming back, he'll be the big baby face.
Yeah, probably. Especially after that promo we cut on Tony. Yep. It makes Tony look like a dick. Tony is a dick. Mark. And
that is right, Ford. Moxley did call out Okada.
Yes, he did. And that would be an excellent match to watch. Kazuchika Okada has said that he's open to working with AEW.
That's it. They need to stop doing that, though. I understand the reason for it, but focus on your talent. There's a reason WWE doesn't do it.
Yeah.
It's
the only reason Mickie James did what she did is because they had to smooth things over after the garbage bag incident.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think WWE and Impact would actually work very well together.
They would.
They're very similar.
I just think the fact that AEW with Impact ruins that because you can't
Mhm.
have all three. Like, there's no need for Motor City Machine Guns to be at the pay-per-view on Sunday. No need.
Not at all. It's to pop the crowd, and
That's not. They're
it.
not even a pop. Like,
Not really.
I'd
If it
rather
was beer
I'd rather
money,
have the Time Splitters,
I'd rather have beer money.
or I'd rather have Beer Money. But he needs to worry, like Shadow was saying. He needs to worry about booking his own wrestlers as opposed to bringing in other people.
Right.
Yeah.
No, Harlem, you're fine. Like, that makes sense. Like, that's something that Moxley did. Like,
Right.
he called out Okada. Like, that's something different. But to have these people randomly come in for no reason, no rhyme or reason, it doesn't make sense. Like the person with the person with the title shot, who nobody ever heard of, because he won some stupid match at an indie show that had 15 fans.
Right.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
And that's not a shot at indie wrestling.
So, like, I will say this. On the surface, the match between Mox and Punk that happened on Dynamite for some stupid reason, that being a squash match was, I thought, a great move. I loved it. But Punk should not have gotten a rematch. There's no reason Punk should be involved with this anymore.
You were probably one of the few that like that.
I loved it, but it should have been on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It made Mox look like a badass because Mox is a badass. If you bring me John Moxley and CM Punk in a fist fight and a brawl, I don't care what martial arts CM Punk has. Mox is whooping his ass.
Fact.
Well,
yeah.
according to UFC, Punk has none, so it's fine. But with that being said, all unbiased opinion put aside, I will give All Out a 6.5. The card is too long for me to give it any more than that.
I think we're at a point where just having great wrestling matches all night is no longer going to cut it. So there needs to be some comprehensive storytelling, and AEW's is falling off hard. They need to fix their women's division. They need to fix every single fucking babyface champion they have. They have so much work to do to build up and have better comprehensive storytelling for my interest. So I'm going to give this a 5.
Megan?
That's what I was thinking too. 5 out of 10, just because it's so long and there's only so many good matches. The rest are just last minute random. Oh, let's just put this into a pay per view because we can.
But
I forgot to bring that up too.
Before Scalz gives his rating, all of us have shit on WWE for having WrestleMania 8 hours long.
Oh, yeah.
25 matches deep. So this isn't us being fed up with AEW. We just don't understand why the card needs to be that long.
And, I mean, I'm going to say this, too. When WWE is shit, I will shit all over WWE, too.
Yep.
I will shit on both of them. I'm not a mark for either company. I love both companies. I love what they can do. I love what they're capable of. We're seeing what Triple H is capable of, and this is just the start. Tony Khan, we know, is capable of way better than this. And that's where it lies.
I'm sure there'll be periods where we shit on Triple H or his booking, aka Monday's tag team women's match. But I digress.
Absolutely.
Scalz,
That's his first.
Your
That's
rating.
his first L since he's taken over. But we also need to see where it goes from there.
Right.
Right.
Same
So
with Riddle
it's
Rollins.
like when he moved the Riddle and Rollins match, everybody's like, "Well, why is he doing that?" And it's because he felt SummerSlam was already a big enough card, and he didn't need it. And he felt
And
that
it
this
found
match
one
needed a bigger
build.
build, and look what happened.
We're all fucking hyped.
Now, to what Megan has said, how do you have 3 months to build a pay-per-view and you book half the matches in the last 10 days? I don't get it. You're supposed to be using the last 2 to 3 weeks to hype up all of your matches. not just announce them and build them.
Right.
You don't have a pay-per-view once a month like WWE does, to where you can get away with booking matches the week of the event.
And even so, Clash at the Castle's matches were all booked by last Friday.
Right. That's one. This is one of the few times that they actually were booked the week before.
But the difference is they've alluded to the storyline for over a month and a half.
Right.
Right.
Everything has been set in motion, and then they were just announced. Some of the stuff for AEW for this pay-per-view was not even done until this past Friday on Rampage with
Right.
the House of Black Derby. And like you still don't even know who's in the finals for the Trios Championship. You're finding that out Friday night before the Sunday pay-per-view.
Probably the best friends.
No, it's not going to be the best friends because Paige is wrestling. It's going to be Dark Order versus Stupid Elite because they're so predictable with what they do. They are the new WWE.
House of Black should have won that tournament.
Absolutely.
They should have smoked through it. They should have dominated it.
Correct. But because they want to
Especially,
put them against Miro, Sting, and Darby Allin, they do what doesn't make sense. This pay-per-view
All right.
is absolutely too long.
The feud with Sting and Darby is boring to me.
14 matches. You're starting at 7 p.m. for the 0 hour. Your main show is starting at 8 o'clock. You're not going to end before 1 a.m. You're having a 6-hour pay-per-view. And it's too dragged out. I won't be purchasing it because there's only a few matches that I'm interested in. I don't feel like I should spend my money watching it. If I get a free stream, I'll throw it on.
Yep.
My rating for this show, if it gets that high, 5. Like, I can't. Like, I'm just,
All right.
I would just be dead. It'll remind me of WrestleMania when they went 7 hours and I'm falling asleep during the main event.
Right.
We
And the
can-
thing is that, sorry, go ahead, Shadow.
No, go ahead, and then I'll finish my point.
Okay, I was just gonna say, like, I went back and watched that triple threat match between Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte.
It was really good.
It was a good fucking match, but the crowd was dead because they were all asleep.
Yeah, and that's not fair to those women. They put on a show.
They
Nope.
earned that fucking main event. Becky for sure earned that main event.
Now, what I was going to say is we can beat this horse dead as Tony Khan has done to his roster, but I think we have covered enough of this pay-per-view for our liking. So thank you, Megan. Thank you, Nate, for coming on the show. Megan, where can we find you?
TikTok, Twitter, even on Twitch, even though I don't stream. I'm going to try to on Saturday.
And what's your
And-
TikTok name?
Megan.Nicole.
I put that in the chat for you, Megan.
And
Thank
Nate,
you,
where
Nate.
can we find you, sir?
So I have my own personal page on TikTok that I use. It's Nate McNamara WB, which basically means Wrestle Bros. Also, my display name is the Walmart Young Buck. And then if you want to see our group page where we do a lot of cool entrance videos, carpool karaoke for WWE and AEW theme songs, stuff like that, at the Wrestle Bros on TikTok. All that is in the chat right now. Put all
And now, if you guys are intrigued in the conversation, I'm on TikTok as well. I'm mostly on there nightly. Megan is there. Nate is there. And we discuss wrestling all night. There's other creators that we sit and discuss with. It's not always about wrestling. We do have a lot of random conversations.
yeah. We go off the rails, man.
You can find me on TikTok, and you can find me on Twitter at thatguyshadow91.
I just threw
Yeah,
it in
we
the
got
chat. I just threw it in the
like-
chat for you. I mean, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. It was a pleasure to meet Megan for the first time tonight. Nate, it was an honor again to have you back on. Need this to happen more often. But you guys can find us here on Twitch, Scouts24. I am also have a channel on YouTube off the top. That's where I put all the videos up after we are streaming. And I'm also on Twitter with off_the top pod. And I have my own Twitter as well, Scouts24. So I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Thank you guys. And we hope to do this again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.